Well, good evening. Welcome along to Super League Raw Weekly. Gregory, in 4 hours' time, the greatest sport on earth returns.
This week, mate, this week.
Come on, baby.
Can't
Here
wait.
we go. Super League is
Can't
back
wait.
and we can't wait. Huge.
No, we can't. I was supposed to say something there.
Happy days. Lots to get through tonight. Lots to get through. We've got a packed show for you, ladies and gentlemen. Get commenting now for your shout outs. Right. Last week, if you recall, ladies and gentlemen, we put a call out for sponsorship, and I'm pleased to say we've got 2 already. So fantastic stuff. If you want to sponsor Super League Raw in 2024, we keep posting the video throughout the week on our channels. Give me a call, 07368 211 595, 07368 211 595. Be a part of our journey. Super League Raw just keeps getting bigger and better, Gregory.
Yes, it does. And thank you to those who've agreed to sponsor us already.
Indeed. More now. We'll go into that in a bit more detail a little bit later in the show. But what was really heartwarming last week, really heartwarming, is that when we announced the sponsorship, ladies and gentlemen, I got a couple of personal messages from people who've been watching us for many years saying that whilst they didn't want to sponsor us because they didn't have a business, but they would have loved to have helped us out in terms of making sure we can keep these programs going, etc. So here it comes, hot off the press, something to get excited about. We're excited to bring our Super League Raw followers the opportunity to get closer than ever before as we announce the all-new Super League Raw membership scheme. 18th man membership. As an official 18th man member, you will be showing your support for the work we do at Super League Raw. Your membership will be the engine room for new content and the long-term viability of our current shows. Also, 18-man members will be eligible for all our upcoming competitions and prize draws and will receive the Super League Raw car window sticker so you may display your support on those away days. 6 Again membership. 6 Again members will enjoy the added benefits of increased shout-outs on Super League Raw Weekly. In addition, 6 Again members will also be invited to join the official Super League Raw WhatsApp group so you can keep the debate going 24/7. And finally, 6 Again members will be given exclusive access to our In Conversation series 48 hours prior to the premiere on YouTube and the Super League Raw podcast. Team Talk membership. Team Talk benefits will elevate your Super League Raw experience and enjoyment. Team Talk members will receive prior notice of upcoming In Conversation guests and they will be invited to submit questions to be asked during the show. But perhaps the most exciting news of all is that Team Talk members will be invited to our Final Whistle online web chat. Every Sunday, we will be hosting a 1-hour Final Whistle online chat via Zoom, where we will discuss the talking points from the weekend's matches with you, the Team Talk members. But wait for it, there's more. Team Talk members will become the stars of their own podcast, as this debate will be uploaded to our channel for fans from around Super League to hear. Memberships start from as little as only £2.99 per month. For more information, visit our Patreon website or one of our Facebook pages. Super League Raw is all about a group of fans who know that rugby league is the best sport in the country, and we are inviting you to get closer than ever before. With your help and support, we can continue to improve our current shows, create new and engaging content, and to become the #1 destination of rugby league online. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to welcoming you to the all-new Super League Raw membership scheme. There you go. The new Super League Raw membership scheme is live now, but don't turn off your TVs at this moment in time. Do it after the show. The link is in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Go over to our Patreon website, become a member. We've already got our first one, I'm pleased to say. Make sure you get over there. Make sure you become a member. Great benefits, as you can see there, for being a part of it. Be a star of your own podcast with us Sunday, the Final Whistle. And as it says there, more benefits to be announced. That's not it, folks. We're going to keep adding to it. And this is hot off the press right now. Here it comes. for those people who sign up to the Six Again membership, you will be invited to the Super League Raw pub quiz. That's right. We're going to be doing a rugby league pub quiz every single week. You'll be invited to come along and play along. There will be prizes for the winner. So what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Come on, have a bit of fun. So that's a great initiative for people who sign up to the Six Again and the Team Talk membership. And for Team Talk members, it gets even better, because during the close season, those winter months, we are going to be doing at the end of this season Rugby League Mastermind. That's right, Rugby League Mastermind. Those people are going to be eligible for being in the hot seat, and the winner of that is going to get a brilliant prize. So more about that at the back end of the season. It's up, it's running. Visit the Patreon website. If you're listening to it as a podcast, again, in the link in the podcast, the details on how you can do that. Please join us. Please join the membership, because without you, we can't keep producing the show to the standard that it is. It's as simple as that. It's up, it's running, we're away.
Have that, as they say.
Have that indeed. Right, let's. That's enough of self-promotion. Let's start getting into some good stuff. First and foremost, Russell Crowe. Oh, what a campaign that is. Absolutely outstanding. Russell Crowe selling NRL to the Americans, and I have to say, what's Super Bowl? What Super Bowl?
Yeah. Well,
what's an advert?
What he should have done was just given Taylor Swift a free ticket, because apparently she's the reason why more people watch that Super Bowl than watch the moon landing.
Absolutely.
So give Taylor Swift a free ticket and we'll be sorted.
Absolutely. No, 100%. 100%. They're all coming in. Great to see Callum in the chat. Dawn Baker's already in the chat. Leigh Rigby's already in the chat. Paul Boardman. We've even got people in the chat, geeing each other on to become members. That's what we're talking about. Come on, become a member. Yeah. We're going to be together on a Sunday night doing the final whistle. A good bit of banter there. We're going to be doing pub quizzes. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Rugby League, that's what it's about. 24/7. Super League Raw is the place to.
Yeah, and we just don't want it to be me and Dave chatting on Sunday night.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. It's going to be about the fans. The fans are going to be the ones
exactly.
that are trying. We are just simply going to conduct the orchestra. The only thing that we would say to everybody is, and we'll be saying this to the Team Talk members, no language. No language is allowed on Super League. No. This is for the kids as well as for the adults. We of course keep it respectful. Right, the moment I think quite a few people have been waiting for. Here it comes. Right, here we go. This is back. The Fantasy Super League was back this week. Get your teams, ladies and gentlemen. And I've already been being hassled online. Where is the Super League Raw mini league code? Well, here it is. I said I'd announce it tonight, and here it is. There it is. The PIN number 7434. The password 819007. So that's 7434819007. Join the Super League Raw 2024 mini league on the Fantasy League of the official Super League page. Oh, Ryan Birch is already getting giddy. He thinks he's going to get his second shirt. We're going to stop Ryan in his tracks this year with your help, ladies and gentlemen. So there it is. Get your teams in now, of course. I think you've got till close of business tomorrow for round one. You don't want to be left behind. So get yourselves over tomorrow morning. Don't turn off your channel. Don't turn off. We've got lots to get through here tonight. But certainly in the next 24 hours, get onto the official Fantasy League website. Get your Fantasy League team in and join the Super League Raw mini league. You've got more chance of winning a shirt on Super League Raw than you have on the official game. So make sure that you join that. Reggie, I take it you have put your team in, sir?
Not yet, but I'm working on it. I am working on it.
Good. Well, you need to. We've got.
I've just got a few quid left to splash.
A few quid left to splash. Absolutely. Get it in. Get it in.
Having that shirt next year.
It's up. And it's running. The Super League Raw Fantasy League is up and it's running. Right, great news for you Salford Red Devils fans. Today, at last, the Council of Salford put their hands in the pocket. It would appear that your community stadium is going to be remaining yours. No real details in terms of, profit share and things like that. But I think because of the winter, I'll call it the winter of discontent at Salford over the course of this winter. Greg, this is great news. I know you're partial to a sausage roll at Salford.
Sausage rolls.
Great news, this, isn't it, for Salford fans? They've had a really tough winter. This is good news.
Yeah, as you can see, I do like a sausage roll, and the ones at the AJ Bell are magnificent. Yeah, it is. I mean, this, to have that insecurity going through the winter of not knowing whether you had a ground, whether you had a team. I think this is good news for Salford fans. I love going to Salford because the pre-match music is brilliant. It's all 90s Britpop and Manchester music. It's brilliant. It's just a great experience.
Absolutely.
So I do enjoy, and I found out the number 100 bus stops just outside. So
winning, as they say.
Winning at life.
Absolutely. And of course, this year you'll be travelling with the Super League Raw car sticker in your back window promoting Super League Raw.
If the bus driver will let me put it in there, yeah.
Absolutely. Great to see in the chat. Greg Roach is with us as well. Somebody's asking in the chat. I do apologise. You've come up as a Facebook user. I don't think you might not have followed the page. I think it might be. I think if you follow the page, if you become a follower of our Facebook page, we will get your name. So that's something for you to do. Sam Holt, little Sam, my mate, he's in the chat. He's saying they've got a great stadium at Salford. You're quite right. Somebody in the chat saying, can you add more than one team? Not to our league. No, I'm sorry. We're not having 3, 4, 5 attempts. One attempt only. And if we do see the same person twice, we will, of course, decide right from the get-go which team is the one that qualifies, and that's going to be your team for the rest of the year. So you've got one shot at the Super League Raw Fantasy League. So let's keep it nice and fair.
Can I just add one thing?
Go for it.
You know, Sam there saying they got a great ground there. Come on, Salford fans, let's get it full. Let's get it.
It was full. It was a great launch at the Trafford Centre. I don't know if you saw that. It was a really good launch.
Fantastic. That was a great PR event. Yeah. But come on, Salford fans, you know, you used to fill the Willows, and the Willows was a wonderful old ground, and I can understand why, you know, a lot of Salford fans maybe don't like the AJ Bell. But come on, let's get in there. I'm tired of seeing Sale on TV and the ground being full. Come on, Salford fans, let's fill that ground, because
you're spot on, mate. You're spot on. And as you can see there, another Facebook user joined the page. We want to see your name. But a Facebook user there, great energy. Of course, it's great energy. It's 48 hours to go. Come on. This is what we're talking about. Come on now. You know, this isn't other podcasts that talk the game down and do it in monotone. This is Super League Raw. Come on.
Well, baby. I might do it in monotone, but at least I'm enthusiastic.
No chance. Oh, I'm pumped, mate. I can't wait. 48 hours to go. Here we go. 9 months.
I'd say, you know, Wednesday, tomorrow night will be like Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, absolutely.
Like Christmas Eve.
Absolutely. Get your suit on, son. Come down, give the wife a treat. That's all I'm going to say.
And on that bombshell.
Here we go again. Oh, that'll be back next week. That'll be back again. Here we go again. Whoa, team of the week. Can't wait for that one to come around. Oh, I'll tell you, I don't know what I've been on. It is only beer, I promise you. Right, speaking of the great game that is Rugby League, this was brilliant. The Respect campaign came out this week. I had this on the weekly news, thanks to Joel, albeit Joel's a bit biased. He said he's loving the bi-weekly updates that we're doing in Super League Raw News.
Yeah.
We mentioned this in Super League Raw News. Greg, as I said, I think people have watched it, they'll have known what I've said is what I love about our sport, that we're a community first and foremost. We get on, we don't fight, we show each other the utmost respect.
Exactly.
This is Rugby League, and I'm behind the Respect campaign. I'm sure you are.
100%. You know, an example from last season, Steph was kind enough to get me and my daughter tickets for the semi-final at Halliwell Jones. And even though I had a Warrington shirt on, the Respect, and there was no bother, no mither. You know, it was, everybody got on. And that's what we need. There's sometimes things get a little bit fraught and some fans, you know, jump out of line, but I teach in Liverpool, as probably some of you know, and when I talk about Magic Weekend and the fact that every Super League team goes to the same ground and all the fans mingle in the same ground, they can't believe it, and they just say, you know, you wouldn't get that in football. You wouldn't get that in a lot of sports, that different fans from different teams can go to the same ground and there's not an ounce of trouble.
No, absolutely.
That is what, you know, that's what this game is all about. And they're 100% behind the Respect campaign.
Spot on. And speaking of respect, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to put it straight out there. Super League Raw, like I've said, it's inclusive. We want everybody involved. We like banter. Nothing wrong with banter, but banter can sometimes go overboard. I've had to ban 2 people today on Facebook where banter has gone overboard, right? We're not having that at Super League Raw. It's, you know, if you get personal, you're gone. I love banter, but when people start talking really bad about other people, I mean, I'm talking about, you know, dare I say it, quite frankly, it's a crime what some people are writing. It's gone. It's not on Super League Raw. So, you know, Super League Raw is about respectful debate. It's also about clean banter. Get on with it. Enjoy yourself. Fill your boots. But Respect campaign is something that we stand by as well. So let's make sure that
exactly 100%, mate. You know, that's the danger of social media sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, There's our dawn, mate. What's our views on mandatory gum shields? They're mandatory, and rightly so. And that's what I'd say on that. What about yourself, Greg?
Yeah, and I think they're going to have the sensors in them as well that measure the pressure of a hit around the head. So get them banned.
I have to say, normally Greg's getting into my ribs a little bit, but for once he's in my corner. It's lovely to have Greg Roach in my corner. Well done, Greg, saying get them banned.
Oh, I thought it was on about me for a minute there.
I didn't think we knew each other well enough for him to be calling me by me initials. But anyway, that's fine. That's not a problem. He's a good lad. He's a good lad. So yeah, the respect campaign, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, but these gum shields, I think, is a great idea.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I think they are going to have the pressure points in them that Rugby Union have adopted that will alert the medics when somebody may have suffered a concussion. Anything that we can do to protect players in what should be a full contact, full blooded sport, anything we can do to protect them without turning it into tick and pass, I'm fully behind. I've got to admit.
Well, as you know, we're fair at Super League Raw. You know, we will pass, signposts to other people's programmes and other people's publications. 40/20 magazine last month, the new one's about to come out. Brilliant article on head concussion, as to in Rugby League World as well this month. Really good.
Yeah, I read that.
Really good articles in both magazines. So, you know, we're, like I say, I try and take the legwork out of it for you folks. That's what the Super League Raw news is all about. We'll cascade you where you need to go to get reputable rugby league stories. We don't do clickbait. We don't do any of that nonsense. It's all about getting it factual. So, yeah, 2 really, really good articles there for you to go and have a look at in your spare time. Right, Greg? Hey, here we go. A couple of our pie-eating friends aren't very happy about this. They're not very happy about the colour of the World Club Challenge jersey, going back to the Martin of Fire days there. And, of course, you know, what a great mannequin Mr. Fowle is. You know, got to give Liam a little plug. We do like a bit of Liam Fowle here at Super League Raw. Yeah, they're a bit disappointed. They're not happy that it's not cherry and white. This is retro, isn't it, Greg? Retro.
It is very, it's very, very nice. Even with the Kappa sponsorship there in the middle, it's very 1989.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What a year. What a year.
Great year, 1989.
Year. Stock Aitken and Waterman, eat your heart out. A bit of Jason Donovan sitting on a chair looking out to Aussie land. Fantastic.
It was going so well, Dave.
Hey, nothing like a bit of retro. Nothing like a bit of retro.
It's a bit orange, but I quite like it. It's very retro. The fashion is for retro shirts. Probably going back to the days when they probably first won the World Club Challenge, I would have thought, a nod to that.
Yeah,
I'm sure our Wigan friends will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a nod to that.
Talking about banter, Steph sails straight in. Good evening, Stefan. Looks like a Leigh shirt, pre-Leopards. Go on, Steph, lad. Get in the ribs of those Wigan fans. Outstanding. Dawn. Dawn
by the way, Steph, I'll be at the Leigh Huddersfield game on Friday. So he's flag bearing there. So look forward to a pint with you on Friday, mate.
Outstanding. Get it in early. Leigh Rigby doesn't like the green sponsor. Well, I mean, you know, we had Hoover, didn't we? For a few. I mean, people. Yeah. You know, what we still do. And look, at the end of the day, they plough a lot of money into the sport.
Exactly. This is You know, okay, the red Hoover on the Warrington shirt and the green sponsorship on the Wigan shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, they might not blend in brilliantly, but come on.
Yeah.
It's money into the club, so accept it for what it is.
Absolutely. Phil Webster there. Phil, we talked about this last week. Totally in your corner, mate. Captain's challenge. 100%. 100% been in. Right, we've got to go through the final 4 teams. Also, of course, we're going to be talking about where we see these teams finishing in Super League this year. We will be giving you the full hit as well once we've gone through the last 4 teams in terms of where the panel, including Gary Schofield, sees the final Super League ending this year. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look for the first time this season at the Hull KR team. Here it is for your viewing pleasure. I'm just going to get rid of the captions now. Like I say, keep your comments coming. We'll keep reading you out as we go through the show. Right, retained Tom Opperchick, brilliant season last season. Ryan Hall, of course, going for the record this year. You'd expect him to pass it. Corey Hall, Phoenix, I can never say it, so I won't say it. I'll just call him Phoenix to his friends. Lewis Senior,
PLG, PLO.
That'll do. Yeah, PLO. Like it. Sounds like a cruise ship. Marvellous. Mikey Lewis, of course. Brilliant Mikey Lewis. We're big fans of him here. 2 brilliant hookers retained in Jez Litton and Matt Parcell. Props, Jesse Sugg, King, Sam Luckley, Yusuf Aydin, Zach Fishwick, and then the back rowers, Dean Hadley, James Batchelor, Elliot Minchella, the captain, it's been announced, and Matty Staunton. Right.
Yeah.
Greg, first and foremost, brilliant season in 2023 for the Hull KR, of course, finalist in the Challenge Cup, and getting to the semi-final of the Super League. I mean, we've seen Hull KR over the last couple of seasons develop, and they'll be looking to do that again this season.
Yeah.
Thoughts in terms of Willie Peters? I mean, you know, many people saying that if he's as successful, if not better this year, that he might go back to the NRL at the end of the season. He's done his bit and he'll be off.
Well, there's always that danger, isn't there, with Aussie coaches?
Yeah,
there's always that danger, and you know, people will say that they young Aussie coaches or rookie Aussie coaches come over here to cut the teeth, to be a success, to put themselves into the shop window. You know, if I were a Hull KR fan, I would be a little bit concerned that might be the case at the end of this season.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, just enjoy the season for what it is that's going to come up. I think, because I personally think Hull KR are going to do really well this season.
Good advice.
I think they're going to build on last season.
Good advice, mate. Good advice. Yeah. Like it. Well, let's take a look at the lost and found. The lost and gained. The lost and found. Absolutely. Don't remember a bit of meat. Right, lost. Obviously, it's a who's who in terms of who they've lost at the top there. Lachlan Coote, of course, had to retire halfway through last year. SKD, Sean Kenny Dowell, fortunate to be in the dream team. A bit of nostalgia there, we felt, at Super League Raw, but go, obviously, still on the coaching staff. Ethan Ryan, he's gone off to Salford. Sam Wood, of course, gone off to Castleford. Jimmy Kainos gone. Jack Walker will now, of course, be all FC. Will Dagger gone. Halfbacks, Brad Schneider, obviously it was only going to be a short-term deal anyway. Rowan Milne's off to Castleford to get himself a chance. Obviously he's going to be missing, though, for a period for injury, which is such a shame.
Yeah.
Jordan Abdul, of course, a late departure to the Catalan Dragons. We'll talk about that in a bit more detail in a moment. Reece Kennedy, obviously he's gone to London. And then Kane Lynette retired at the end of last season. That surprised many. Lewis Johnson, of course, going to Castleford as well. As we did last week, let's talk the game piece here. Have they improved? Have they not? Starting with the backs, Peter Hiku in at full back. Niall Evalds brought in predominantly, we believe, for the wing position. Gildart arrives from Leigh, and of course Joe Burgess, a late arrival from Salford as well. For me, stronger in the back line.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think as well as Hull KR did last season, they did have an aging back line in some respects. Yeah. I know Peter Hiku isn't a youngster anymore, but he's class. Peter Hiku is class. His short stint at Warrington, he was head and shoulders above anybody else in the team, I thought. Niall Evalds is, experienced. And for me, Gildart and Burgess, they're good signings, I think. I think they are a little bit stronger in that respect.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Let's just bring this quickly on the screen. Leigh Rigby there. Mikey Lewis, brilliant player, cocky player, but good at what he does. Glad he played for England. Great passion from Mikey, of course, at the end of that game. Right, into the halfbacks. And, of course, Jordan Abdul leaving. In comes Tyrone May. This, for me, a real issue. We'll actually look at that when we... We'll look at that when we get to Catalan. We'll hang fire on that for the time being. But Tyrone May is a player, isn't he? He's a talented lad.
Yeah. The thing with Tyrone May, and if we do have any Catalan fans out there, they may wish to correct me, but I think Tyrone May takes time to grow into a season. He's quite quiet at the beginning, but towards the end of last season, he was absolutely superb.
Yeah, he was
Tyrone May.
Yeah, he was good.
I think he might benefit from somebody like Mikey Lewis next to him.
Yeah.
And, we say Jez Litton and Matt Parcell are hookers. Jez Litton can also fill in at the halves as well. So, Jez Litton and Mikey Lewis, quite similar in some respects. So I think Tyrone May might need a little bit of time to settle down.
Maybe.
But I think once he does, I think that could be quite a frightening partnership, May and Lewis.
I think it's good counsel. I thought May grew into last season. He certainly had a very strong end to it. This is a big opportunity. You talk hookers there, obviously class, Jez Litton, Matt Parcell. We've been big admirers of Matt Parcell for the time we've been doing this. But Reece Butterworth, great opportunity this for Reece Butterworth, of course. He's been brought in for the season, playing for Dewsbury last year. And like I say, because Abdul has gone, and your point about Jez Litton may have to fill in here and there, maybe at halfback if injuries were to hit. I would expect that Reece Butterworth will get plenty of game time during 2024.
I wouldn't doubt that for a second, that he'll see a lot of he'll see a lot of game time. Absolutely. I think you know Mikey Lewis has had his injury problems. Hopefully they're behind him, but Jez Litton can fall into the halves. Reece Butterworth maybe coming off the bench, or with Parcell coming off the bench. I think that's an astute signing. I think that's a clever signing by Hull KR.
Absolutely. I want to just jump the props for a minute, because I'm going to come back to Jai Whitbread. But AJ Wallace has been brought in from Bradford. A lot of people have got real high hopes for AJ Wallace. It's going to be interesting. And then, of course, Kalepi Tanganoa coming in from Hull KR. Wakefield. Sorry, I'm getting excited. I'm talking about OKR coming in from Wakefield. Back rowers, obviously they'd have liked to, I'm sure, for Kane Lynette to have remained, but I actually think the back row's probably stronger this season with Wallace and Tanganoa.
Well, yeah, again, Kane Lynette. I mean, I think age caught up with Louis Johnson. Yeah. It's a strange one with Louis Johnson. He's not really fulfilled the potential everybody thought he had. You know, he was at Castleford, then he came to Warrington. Yeah. He went to Hull KR, and maybe Hull KR fans will have an opinion on Louis Johnson. He's gone back to Castleford, but I think younger, fresher Tanganoa's got his injury problems. Though that would be the one thing that would kind of be the only kind of dark cloud over that. But if Tanganoa can keep injury free, he's a force to be reckoned with as a player. He really is.
Well, Lee Rigby's saying he fancies these for second. We'll get to our predictions in a minute, Lee, but that's an interesting point that you've just made. What I wanted to do is, Jai Whitbread, let me tell you now, Jai Whitbread is a purist prop forward. The work rate he gets through is absolutely incredible. I was disappointed with Reece Kennedy last year. I think this is a huge signing. You can see here in the head-to-head, look, when you go down there, Whitbread played 7 games less than Kennedy. He scored the same tries. He made 2 more tries. Tackle bust similar. He's got a better look at the tackles. His work rate, Jai Whitbread's work rate, is absolutely sensational. If there's ever a 60 to 70 minute prop forward, it's Jai Whitbread. This for me, I believe, probably they're signing all. You've got the Hickeys and all the rest of it, but I think they're stronger in the pack, having replaced Kennedy for Whitbread, and those statistics back that up, doesn't it?
Undoubtedly, mate. I was so disappointed that he's probably the prop that Warrington should have signed as a Warrington fan.
Well, they were after him. And just before Darryl Powell left, they did inquire about Jai Whitbread, and unfortunately they were told to jog on.
Yeah, and, but he's a player. He really is. I think if Hull KR have the season, or better the season they had last year, he could be looking at a dream team spot. He's that good.
He's a great player, is Jai. I think he's better there. Right, okay, there you go. There's Hull KR. We've had a good chat about them for the last 5 to 10 minutes or so. Greg, where are you putting Hull KR this season?
Right. I'm going to stick my considerable nose out, and I'm going to say I think they could, if they go well, avoid injuries. If Peter Hiku shows what he did when he was at Warrington and what he's done in the NRL, I think they could finish 3rd.
So Greg is going 3rd.
I'm going 3rd.
Sam Holt is going 5th. There's another Facebook user who fancies him for 2nd. And this is probably going to be the biggest shock that everybody has had thus far from me. I'm putting them 7th.
Okay.
Which will surprise many people. My rationale for that is I don't think the pack is big enough in the front row. I know Kingy's been outstanding, George King. I get that. They've got, for me, Tanganoa's injury prone. Jesse Sue has carried injuries as well. There's a lot of people in that squad. Peter Hiku, Willie Settle. We saw him at Warrington. There's no doubt in Hiku, his box office.
No, yes, he is.
Willie Settle, I don't know. For me, they had a late surge last year. Brilliant in the Challenge Cup. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic in the Challenge Cup. But I just think when I look at the teams around, I think Leeds have improved dramatically. Warrington last year fell off. Will they fall off as much? I don't know. I don't think they will. I think Warrington will be top 6. I don't see Leigh falling. I mean, I had Leigh at 5th last week. I don't see Leigh falling out the top 5. I really don't. I see Leeds getting into the top 5, and I don't see the top 3 from last year not being in and around it this one. So, Steph saying it's a massive call. It is a massive call. I probably surprised many with that. I am probably wrong. I am probably wrong. But I just think when you compare the prop forwards, the nucleus of the prop forwards against Warrington's, Leigh's, Catalans, Saints, and Wigan's, I don't think it can compare. And I just think that's why I'm doing it. But anyway, it's all about opinion.
Well,
sorry,
yeah.
fans.
I've gone for 3rd because I think there'll be a lot more mobile this year. They've got fresher, younger players. Yes, maybe that lack of experience may trip them up. I just think they're on a roll. I think that they will have a real good season.
Maguire
call it a hunch.
Danny Maguire gone.
Yeah, but
do you know what I mean? Anyway, there you go. OKR.
Yeah. Well, we will find out in 10 months' time.
And if I was OKR fans, I won't worry because last year we got hardly any right. So, so don't worry about
I've tipped them for 3rd, so they'll probably finish bottom now.
Right. We now go to the former champion St Helens. I mean, what a squad, right? I mean, it's a who's who. Wellesby, Mason, Percival, Benison, Ben Davies, Conrad Huddle, in the backs, the half-backs. Johnny Lomax, Lewis Dodd, Benny Lane there. Hookers, Moses Mbai, Jake Burns has been retained. Props, Wormsley, will he get through the season? The last 2, he's missed the back end through injury. Matty Lees, Ignatius Party, of course, he's out for the start of the season. George Delaney, who I thought had a good season last season. I think he's probably being oversold, if I'm being honest, at this moment in time. I'm going to be very interested to see can George Delaney improve again this season. At the moment, I think it's too early to tell. I think he got a lot of plaudits last year. For me, too much pressure on the lad too soon. But again, no doubt about it, quality talent. So let's see how he gets on. Sione Matautia, Joe Batchelor, Morgan Knowles, the magnificent Mr. James Bell, Curtis Sirenen, Jake Wingfield, and Sam Royal. Quality retain list. No issues there, Reggie. And like I say, Bell for me, class.
Year. Mate, yeah. Saints were a much better team when he started last season.
Yeah, I agree.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right, let's take a look at these lost and founds, lost and gains, whatever we want to say. Right, backs. Wesley Bruins obviously went to Warrington. Willa Pawati moving on.
Yeah.
James Roby retiring. LMS, of course, retired. And Dan Norman, of course, allowed to leave for Leigh. Kevin Wowell, look at this. There's no need for this, is there, Kevin? Kevin, here he comes. Dave's Bucky's dream that punter never gets it right. That's why I don't bet, Kev. That's why I don't bet, my friend.
It's a bit harsh, that, Kev.
Very harsh, Kev. Very harsh. Right, let's get into the backs. And, Wonga Blake coming in. I mean, this very late on, Wonga Blake coming in from Australia. You'd have to say an astute signing and probably stronger.
Yes. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Then we come into the hooking position. Now, look, guys, don't start screaming and shouting, yeah. Roby was at the end of his career. Darryl Clark, without doubt, strengthens with James Roby out. No doubt. But, this was last season, and quite frankly, it just doesn't compare. St Helens have got a right result here in getting Daz Clark. A running hooker. You saw it against Salford in the pre-season game. That's Daz Clark all day long, in and around it, punching holes down the middle. This is a great signing, a great signing for St Helens. Like you say, you look and you compare and contrast last season. Roby played more games, but Daz Clark there. Roby in his pomp, don't get me wrong, one of the greatest players that's ever graced our fields. No doubt about that at all. But in the here and now, have St Helens strengthened in the hooking position year on year, without a doubt, Greg.
Oh, mate, I'm devastated that he's left Warrington, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think this is an absolute fantastic piece of business by Saints.
Yeah.
As you say, Roby's been an absolute legend of the game. But Daz Clark, and some could argue he hasn't quite, or he hasn't quite. He's fulfilled his potential, but the team around him hasn't at Warrington. You know, Warrington had a team with Clark in it that was quite capable of winning the grand final and didn't.
Yeah.
They won a couple of challenge. I think he won one Challenge Cup with them. He lost two.
Yeah.
They had a team at one point that should have won the grand final and they didn't.
Yeah.
And you know, I think he will be nothing but an asset to Saints. Yeah. I think he's probably the perfect replacement for James Roby.
Spot on.
Perfect replacement.
Yeah, spot on, mate.
They could have gone to Australia. They could have gone to New Zealand. They could have gone anywhere that plays rugby league. They will have not got a more perfect replacement for James Roby. And it hurts me to say that because I'm absolutely devastated that he's left Warrington.
Well, while you get your hankies out, mate, we'll move on to the second. Yeah, we'll move on to the second row, and of course, in the second row, Matt Whitley coming in from the Catalan Dragons. He had a great season last year. Matt Whitley. I mean, guys, look at the back row of St. Helens. I mean, it's incredible. Whitley, Matautia, Batchelor, Morgan Knowles, James Bell, Curtis Sirenen. You know, the list there goes on and on. Whitley in there as well. It's incredible. Yeah,
it is. Matt Whitley is a phenomenal signing again. His work rate. I mean, you know, James Bell, Matt Whitley, Sirenen, second row, 3 second rowers vying for 2 positions.
Yeah.
Wow, what a choice. I mean, probably Matt Whitley could very well play at loose forward, but then he got Morgan Knowles.
Oh, James, personally, I think Bell is a better ball player. I think, you know, in the way that Cameron Smith, John Asiata at Leigh, and for me, there's no doubt about it. St. Helens fans don't like this, but they absolutely made Morgan Knowles look average last season. I'm sorry, guys, but they did. And that's because they've got more assets to the game. And James Bell, for me, I will put him, if they play him at loose forward, he will be for Saints what Asiata and Cam Smith were last year for Leigh and for Leeds. I would put James Bell at loose forward all day long.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Matt Whitley can fill in there equally as well, though. But, you know, James Bell last season, as I said, Saints were a much better team. They looked more balanced as well when he was in the side. More creative, more dangerous. So, yes, you're right, Kev. They do.
So Kev Wall there for our podcast fans. Saints just always seem to be placed like for like, if not better, every single year. You're spot on. And Paul Francis is in agreement with me. James Bell, their best player in 2023. Completely and utterly agree. Right, Greg, never write off the Saints. Where are you putting the Saints?
12. I'm putting Saints second.
As am I.
I'm putting Saints second. And people might have a sharp intake of breath. When you look at what they did last year, that they given the absolute dreadful start after coming back from Australia.
Yeah.
Semi-finalists in both competitions.
Yeah.
I think they've strengthened. No disrespect to James Roby, who has got, you know, you can never disrespect James Roby. But to bring Daz Clark in as a replacement, as I said, Matt Whitley in the second row, they're just. I think second. I think they have genuinely strengthened.
Spot on, mate. Yeah, second for me as well. I think, you know, we're in for some great rugby league. I mean, we really are. When you actually, guys, do yourself a favour. If you're not students of the game, go and become student of the games. Look at some of these rosters for this year. My Lord, we're in for some right tussles, especially down the middle. The back rows this year, absolutely sensational. So Saints, second for both me and Greg. We'll bring you up to date with the rest of the team in a little while, but we've got to keep the pace going. That's what it's all about. So now we come off our Saints and we go, of course, to last year's grand final runners-up. Catalan Dragons, what a job Steve McNamara has done. 2 grand finals in the last 3 years. You know, he's brought the Challenge Cup to the Catalan Dragons. He's been absolutely outstanding. And this is another big opportunity for him again. In the backs, let's go through it. So in the backs, Arthur Morg, class, absolute class. We did a lovely piece on him. Thank you to JBP for allowing us to use their videos. Brilliant. If you want videos of players in the prime, go and look at JBP Sports Edits on YouTube. Some wonderful entertainment there for you. Arthur Morg, outstanding. Tom Davis, Arthur Romano, like him. Machula Guerre, love that. Machula Guerre is back. Fawad Jahar, Tanguy Zenon, albeit he's injured. Matt Cavallo and Tom Johnson, who was outstanding last season. Cesar Rouge and Ugai Tissam, but of course they brought the halfbacks in. We'll come to them in a moment. Hookers, Mickey McAlorum, Alrix De Costa. Props, Mike McMeekin, Julien Busquet, Roman Neverett, Siasua Takiyaho, and Jordan Desiree. I like Jordan Desiree, I've got to say that. Greg Roach. Oh, look at that from Greg. Go on, Greg, you can come on the screen for that. It is the year of the dragon. Oh, go on, Greg. Knowledge, sir. Back rowers, Paul Seguer, another player who I think, for me, Whitley got all the headlines last year, but I thought Seguer was superb. Ben Garcia is just the Rolls Royce of a player. And Manu Mao, of course, in the back line. Right, let's take a look at the lost and gained. The backs, Father Time. Sam Tompkins, of course, calling time, but that's a great opportunity now for Arthur Morg. Adam Kieran, obviously, he went off to Wigan. Dean Wire, of course, left halfway through the season. He went to London. Haven't brought in any backs. He's decided to back the French boys. He's backing Machula Guerre, Arthur Romano. I saw enough of them last season. They're good players. They deserve this opportunity. Of course, they've got Matagavallu there as well, who can slot in. Good luck to the lads, I'd say, Romano and Liguer.
I like what he's doing here. He's giving more and more French players a chance.
Yeah.
And I think the Catalan crowd will appreciate that, and that might get even more fans through the door if there are more homegrown French players in there. I really like that. I like what he's done. He blooded them last season, and now he's going to give them the chance. And I like that. I respect that. I think that's a good move.
Spot on. And for those who didn't see it, go and watch the Paul Rowley in conversation. Very, very complimentary on the job that Steve McNamara is doing at Catalan. And I have to say, as a rugby league purist, you've got to tip your hat to him. He's done a phenomenal job for the French outfit. We then go to the halfbacks. Tyrone May, Mitchell Pearce moved on. Tyrone May, 3 halfbacks, brand new spine. Jaden Nikarima. This guy scored a hat-trick in that Elite 11 game. Looked quite handy as well. I saw extended highlights of that game. He did look handy, I have to say. Theo Farge, I think, is going to struggle. I mean, obviously, he was nailed on to be all over this Catalan team. And then from nowhere, Jordan Abdul comes in. I did say that we would go back to this, and this is the time for us to go back to it. Who's done better? Is it Hull KR? Is it Catalan? These 2 players have changed, both exactly the same age. As you can see there, of course, Abdul had his injury problems last year, but despite playing 6 games less than Tyrone May, he only ended up a try behind him 3-2. But Greg, to your point, as the season went on, Tyrone May 23 assists in 2023 to Abdul's 8. I mean, that's outstanding. Tackle bust as well, 50-17 in May's favour. Clean breaks 8-3 in May's favour. Tackles, he does more in defence. Error rate, pretty similar. Carries, May will, of course, run the ball more. We know that Jordan Abdul is he's a smart, Sneed type of player, and he controls the games. I mean, I remember the game against, I think it was Leeds last season, where, you know, he had it on a sixpence and they just couldn't live. That was the game, if you remember, that they put young Hooli in at fullback and he had a shocker, if you recall. But for me, I think Hull KR come out of this better. I think for the Hull KR fans who were surprised that Abdul was allowed to go, I think it does affect your strength in depth. But for me, based on these statistics, I think Hull KR's got a winner there. I think KR come out better.
Yeah. I've got to say, I didn't understand the Abdul to Catalan move, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Right.
And that's no disrespect to Abdul. Well, on his day, he's a great player.
Yeah.
He's a controlling halfback. But maybe a bit like Tom Johnson, who had his injury problems, went and played in the warmer climate and was completely injury-free and fulfilled his potential last season.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see Jordan Abdul in a warmer climate fulfill his potential. Yeah. I think Theo Farge has had his injury problems.
I think Theo Farge will end. I think actually what they'll do with Farge, I could be wrong here. I like Alrix De Costa, but I think if you're going to bring Farge in, he'll be on decent money. I think actually what we're going to see is a rotation between Mickey McAlorum and Farge. Okay, that's what
you could well do. Yeah, you could well do. You might be right. Yeah,
that's what I think. And
Farge can also play fullback as well.
Yeah.
You know, Arthur Morg has had injury issues, so
I can't wait to see Morg.
He's absolute class.
He's one of those players you pay to see. Arthur Moore, come on, lad. Come on.
And do you know what? He had to be given a first team jersey this season, or somebody would have snapped him up.
Spot on.
Somebody would have snapped him up. And I think that's clever from McNamara. I think he knew that he couldn't keep Morg on the bench any longer.
No.
And Jordan Abdul, let's hope he does a Tom Johnson and gets over his injury problems in the warmer climate and fulfills his potential. Because on his day, he's a superb player.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. What I would say here for me, I think Nicarima, only saw him against the elite 13. I'm going to be interested to see this kid play his rugby league this season. But for me, in the halfbacks, I think in Abdul and Nicarima, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Right, up in the props, Tiaki Chan, of course, gone to Wigan Warriors. Mikael Gudemont, love that name, goes to Leeds Rhinos. Obviously, Gudemont there, put him in this prop. He can play back row as well. But in comes one of the most formidable forwards that we've had over the last few years, Mr. Chris Satay of Hull FC. I can see that Ian Judson's with us tonight. He's putting Catalan 7 to 8, and he's now crying seeing Chris Satay on the game list for Catalan. Sorry, Ian, mate, you've come at the wrong time here. But Chris Satay going. I mean, again, you look at that. I mean, they've already got a very, very good pack, but Chris Satay makes it even better, doesn't it?
Oh, the bloke, he's a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
He's a wrecking ball. He's an absolute. I don't think he had quite the season last season that he did the season before.
If you remember when he come to Warrington, for me, the whole Hull FC pack at the start of last season just didn't look match fit. I thought as the season went on, Satay really came into his own.
He did. Again. I still think he was better the season before.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right.
But yeah, if the warmer climate, the harder pitches, he's going to be hard to stop. Craig Rigby says Satay is so overrated.
Craig, come on, son. What's got Craig? Deary me, mate. He's
Craig.
Craig, yeah. Who do you support, Craig? Yeah, Craig. He's a Satay is a wrecking ball, mate. He's a class.
On his day,
he's a class player,
an absolute.
But hey,
game winner.
He's entitled to his opinion, is our Craig. He's entitled to his opinion. Back rowers, Tarek Sims comes in, of course. I mean, if they'd have been getting a Tarek Sims in his prime, wow. He is, father time. He's ticking there, 33 now. Of course, Fiji international, 6 state of origins for the New South Wales, 236 NRL appearances. He's represented the Cowboys, the Knights, the Dragons, the Storm. Oh, what a player Tarek Sims is, and Bailey Sivinen. And that is right. Yes, he is the younger brother of Curtis Sivinen of St. Helens. 27, of course, years of age. 81 NRL appearances for him. 57, Warriors. 57 of those came for the Warriors. He's also represented the Tigers and the Bunnies. Just going back to Nicarima, he's 27 as well. 9 NRL appearances for him, for the Roosters and the Storm. But yeah, Tarek Sims, anybody who knows anything about rugby league knows Tarek Sims. They have lost Whitley, but actually, for me, I think the Sims and Sirenen outweigh Whitley and Julienne for me. I think they're a bit stronger in the back line.
Tarek Sims has got to keep his temper.
Yeah,
he's a hothead.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I've seen a little bit of Bailey Sirenen. I think, was the dad Paul Sirenen? Am I right in saying the dad was Paul Sirenen?
I think you're spot on, sir.
Now Paul Sirenen, he was a player.
He's certainly in the family.
Well, it's he must be. But yeah, Tarek Sims has age caught up with him. I don't know.
Cheers.
He's got to keep his say again. What?
Cheers. I'm just as Paul Hogan would say in Crocodile Dundee, just blowing the froth off a couple. Carry on.
Are you refreshing, sir?
I am indeed. Carry on. It's a Tuesday night. What else are we going to do? Rugby league day. Go on.
Gregory's talking.
Carry on, sir.
Tarek Sims is a bit of a hothead.
Yeah.
He has to keep his temper. Hopefully he's the player he was. Bailey Sirenen, bit of an unknown. But I don't know. We'll see. We shall see.
Well, Dawn Baker, Dawn Baker's saying the same as you. She thinks that Tarek will spend a bit of time on the bench. I think overall, there's certainly no worse than last year. I actually think, based on the fact that, they have lost the likes of Sam Tompkins. Of course they have. They've lost Mitchell Pearce. But, let's be fair, Father Time was ticking there. They've replaced him in Arthur Morg. For me, and we both said this at the grand final, he should have come on a lot earlier. That last 20-minute spell, he put Wigan on the back foot. I was speaking to, like I say, we were speaking to Paul Rowley, and even he said, I mentioned Arthur Morg in that interview, and Rowley said, well, the lad's got pace, hasn't he, Dave? He's got pace.
Yeah.
And forwards
not only that, but he's got
class.
He's got ball handling skills.
Oh, mate, absolutely.
You bring Arthur Morg into the halves, and he's going to split defenses wide open.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that I think, and this is a hell of a thing to say, but if Catalan can replicate the form that got them to the grand final, so if they're in and around the grand final mix again, playing really good, attractive rugby league, which with the players that they bought, they've got a bit of pace now in the back line. That's something that they have brought in to the back line. Kieran's a great player, but the players that they've got, I think they're a bit more pacey now in the back line. We're going to do Kieran in a minute. I mean, Adam Kieran had a great season last year. Don't start shouting you pie eaters over there. This is called friendly banter. That's not being offensive. They are the pie eaters. That's who they are. They don't mind that. They don't mind it. But yeah, I think they've got a genuine bit of pace. Here's one for you, Greg. If they are in and in the mix at the end of the year, let me tell you now, a big reason for that will be Arthur Morgan. He could be in contention for a Man of Steel.
Do you know what? I was you've read my mind, Dave. I was going to say that if Arthur Morgan performs, yes, he's a nailed-on dream teamer if he performs. And he's in the mix for. We love pies. We all love pies.
We all love a good pie. Don't you worry about that, Leigh. We all love a good pie.
Right. We want your favourite pies in the chat.
Yeah. What's your favourite pie?
What's your favourite pie? Come on.
Steph read me mind as well. He says he went in the chat saying Dave's about to call him here for a Man of Steel contender. As a contender, Steph, just as a contender.
I think so. I think, do you know what? And people may laugh. I think Daz Clark could be contender for Man of Steel as well.
Mate, you're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong.
If Arthur Morg fulfills the potential he's got and has a full season injury-free,
Greg, you put the call out. Here they come. There you go.
Oh, meat and potato.
Craig Rigby's going meat and potato as well. They're all going in now. Wigan kebab for Leigh Rigby. He's going all in there. Dawn Baker's going to pork pie with mushy peas and mint sauce. Oh, it's all going off here. All going off. Carry on, Greg.
I've only had pancakes for tea.
Outstanding. Well done, Super League Raw. We love you. Outstanding. And Mark Patworth, no, we're not carrying on. Stop now. We've got steak and ale going on, chicken. They're all going on.
Steak and ale, yeah.
I'll tell you what, because he's my little mate, because he's my little mate, I'm going to put, it comes up as Tina, but it's really Sam. Sam loves the chicken pie. Hey, matey, how you doing? We all do. Right, look, we've talked about Catalan. We've waxed lyrical about them. Will they be in second this season, or are you having them dropping down the table? Greg, where are you putting them?
Well, I've got Saints in second. I think Cats will. I think they could very well suffer a little bit of a hangover early doors. Because of that, I'm putting them at fifth.
Fifth for Greg. I'm going to put them third. I still think they've got a bit of quality about them. I really do. I think Matt McMarvin knows what he's doing, so I'm going to put them third. Good luck to Catalan. A good Catalan team. They've been very entertaining over the last few years, and
we like Catalan. We like.
Say
when they play Warrington, we like Catalan.
Absolutely.
They've had some. Catalan have been involved in some absolutely wonderful games over the past few years.
Absolutely. Right, we come to the newly crowned Super League champions, of course. And, first and foremost, let's go through the retain list. It's a who's who. I mean, wow. Field, Miskey, Wardle, Marshall, outstanding. Ryan Hampshire, who can, of course, play in the halfbacks as well, Zach Eckersley. Then we come to the halfbacks. Absolutely. Then we come to the halfbacks. Greg, we'll start here. Bevan French, could he be the first since Paul Sculthorpe to go back-to-back Man of Steel?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I've absolutely no reason to doubt that if he has a season like he did last year, there's no reason why he can't.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Harry Smith. I mean, you saw it for England. You saw it in the grand final. Harry Smith, sensational. But I have to say, very, very surprised based on the stats of last year that Smith is retaining goal kicking duties when you consider that he was double digits behind in terms of percentage of conversion to Adam Kieran last year. One thing's for certain: if Harry's not got his kicking boots this season, I think it will be a matter of time before Kieran takes over.
I think we'll see Kieran kicking before April.
Fair enough. There you are. You heard it here, folks. Yeah. Right. Brad O'Neill, of course, a contender for Young Player of the Year. He gets the number 9 shirt. Richly deserved that. Then we come into the props. I mean, wow. And it gets stronger when we look at who they brought in. But Ethan Havard, Liam Byrne, Cade Ellis, Mike Cooper, Patrick Mako, Tyler Dupree, Harvey Hill and Junior Nsemba. Wow. Simply wow. And there's been a lot of people talking about this cannot be under the salary cap. A lot of the players here that we're talking about have been produced by the Wigan Warriors, which of course means that they get cap benefits for that. So, they're what we're seeing here from Wigan, which is, I think, something that all clubs should take note of, is if you produce your own talent, this is the type of squad that you can then assemble. It is,
and that's why the salary cap was introduced, to encourage teams to bring through their own talent. It's exactly what the salary cap was there to do.
Exactly,
so
mate.
Fair play to them for doing it.
And then the back row was Willie Isa, and of course another player that we have got a fondness for. We love a bit of Liam Farrell. Really, top pro. We love a bit of Liam Farrell. Right, let's look at the lost and gained. Toby King back to Warrington. I do, yeah. I don't know where that's coming from. I can't get out of my head now. So Toby King back to Warrington. Ian Thornley out. I mean, Toby King. Let's start there. I mean, if you were going to replace Toby King at Wigan, Kieran was the man for me. You look at their stats last year, 27 appearances for King, 24 for Kieran, tries 10 for King, 12 for Kieran, assists 10 apiece, tackle bust more for Toby King, 84 to 65 in his favour, clean breaks 10-8 in Kieran's favour. Toby did more tackling, which is quite good considering he was in a winning team as well, 362 to 258. Missed tackles more for Kieran. Errors exactly the same. Meters 285 plays 203. The average meters made pretty much the similar. But of course, when you look at those stats, they're, for me, replace King, but because of Kieran's ability to kick, Greg, the argument is they've got stronger.
I think that is a big plus with Kieran's game.
Yeah.
You can argue that Toby King is a classic centre, and maybe Kieran isn't. Maybe Kieran's more of a halfback, but playing as a centre. But he's kicking. His kicking for Catalan this year was phenomenal.
Yeah,
and he will. I think he will become Wigan's first choice kicker round about the end of March.
I think what I'm trying to remember now. King was on. He was on Miskey's wing, wasn't he? Or was he? No, was he? No, he was on Marshall. No, he was. He was on Miskey's wing.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was on Miskey's wing. And one thing, of course, I think Miskey will miss is the offload. I mean, nobody offloaded the ball more than Toby King in the 2023 season. Of course, he set up, give Miskey opportunities throughout the season. But I mean, the 3 quarters for Wigan last year, especially as we got into the last stage of the season, it was, as we said at the start of the season, it looked on paper at the start of the season. It took them a while to get going as a 4-piece band, but once they got going, I mean, it was music to make love to, I would say. Not on a Tuesday night, not on Valentine's Day tomorrow, no?
No. Take a lot more than that, Dave. At my age. At my age.
Oh, we're having a great night. This is what it's about. It's only glad to less than 48 hours to go. Oh, game on. Right. Halfbacks.
Feel a bit bilious now, to be honest, Dave.
Logan Ashley's gone. Cade Cust, of course, gone to the Salford Red Devils. Hooker, Sam Powell to Warrington. Surprised many. I think the writing was always on the wall when it was announced that Cruz leaving. And if you're looking for a bit of value in the fantasy league, Cruz leaving, guys. Wow. I think he's only
I know, yes.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, Cruz leaving coming in. Look, we know Leaming's a quality player. Him and O'Neill, as good as anything in the league in terms of 2, interchanges at hooker. You'd argue that you'd argue they've probably strengthened, if truth be told. I think Cruz Lehman will probably bring more offensively to the Wigan game than. I mean, Powell's a great pro for Wigan. Obviously, I think it's what Warrington needs because he's a different player to Danny Walker. So I think this benefits both clubs. But I think Cruz Lehman, with the pack that Wigan have got, I think in the same way Davil Clark, when he's behind a good pack, can be destructive.
Yeah,
I think we've seen enough of Cruz Lehman in the NRL and at Leeds before that. Lehman will have a field day.
He's more, and this is no disrespect to Powell, but he's more dynamic. Powell's a more controlling hooker who likes to kind of move the team around. Cruz Lehman likes to explode from half back, from acting half and go through. A bit like Daz Clark.
Yeah.
Spot on. You know, and that's no disrespect to Powell.
Yeah.
You know, he's a grand final winner numerous times. But he's more of a controlling hooker than an explosive hooker. Greg,
we have a new name, Ryan Gregory, watching us tonight on YouTube. Ryan, good evening to you, sir. Welcome to Super League Raw. He says, unreal against Hull. Lehman was great interchange with Brad O'Neill. So
he's the perfect hooker to bring on against a tiring pack in the last 15 minutes of a half.
Yeah, spot on.
You know, and this people might laugh, but a bit like Brad Dwyer was originally when he went to Leeds.
Yeah.
Brad Dwyer was that kind of player. He kind of, we both said a couple of seasons ago, Brad Dwyer coming on turned a lot of games for Leeds.
Yeah. Well, there's Joel. We're going to that. We're going to the props now. Luke Thompson is going to be huge for them down the middle. Absolutely, Joel, without doubt. Of course, they've lost no props. They've added. It's frightening, this. So let me just read this roster of props, ladies and gentlemen, for those people on the podcast. For those people who are listening to this on a podcast, you know, right, what I want you to do is I want to hold your steering wheel really tight, keep it steady between the lines, because this is going to make you shudder. Right, this is the prop forward line for the Wigan Warriors in 2024. Ethan Havard, Liam Byrne, Cade Ellis, who we think is probably going to play loose forward, Mike Cooper, Patrick Mago, Tyler Dupree, Harvey Hill, Junior Nsemba, Tayaki Chan, Luke Thompson, and a very promising Sam Esser from Wakefield Trinity. Let me tell you right now, if that was coming over the trenches in World War II, the war would have been won 3 years earlier. That's what I'm saying. That is a bit of artillery there. If ever you saw artillery, ladies and gentlemen, that is artillery. That is, and I'm sorry, Super League, you've got to be praying here, because whoever finishes above Wigan, for me personally, based on this squad, I mean, and look at the back row. Yes, they've lost KPP, which is a big loss. Smithies wasn't expected. Shorrock's good player, but in this company, probably done the right thing to move to Salford. Sam Walters coming in from Leeds as well.
Injured though, Sam Walters, isn't he?
He's not going to be. Yeah, we're not going to see him for a few weeks.
Going to be out for a while.
But does it matter? But does it matter when you've got all of that bags of riches that we're talking about right there at their disposal, Greg? Does it matter? Bottom line is, I think we'd all agree, whoever finishes above the Wigan Warriors, quite frankly, probably wins the Super League in 2020.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah. And, you know, there are players there like Mike Cooper, probably is not going to figure for large parts of the season.
No, in terms of he won't get in the squad.
Yeah, because it is the strength of that pack.
Incredible, mate.
Blimey.
It's incredible, mate.
You know, I think big Bill Alex. I can't even say it now. Big Alex Walmsley's going to have a lot of hamstring problems this season, I think.
Absolutely. All I would say is, if I was in a nightclub, I'd want them with me. It'd be murder on the dance floor. Murder on the dance floor. That's what it'd be. You know, you'd want them in your corner, wouldn't you? What a fearsome pack.
Luke Thompson in bed with your wife, you took him in.
Right, so here we go. First for you, first for me. Is that what we're saying?
Oh, mate, all day long. Yeah.
Right. Okay, we've done it now. We have, over the last 3 weeks, we've gone through every squad. We've discussed every player. This is Super League Raw. For those of you who only joined us for the first time tonight, for those of you thinking, should have joined this membership scheme? Absolutely, because what you're going to get over and above what we do already is going to be unbelievable. Believe you me.
Yes,
Get to Patreon. Become a member of Super League Raw. But we've been through every team. We've been through every squad. We've told you where everybody's going to be finishing, and this is what we have said. So here it is. These are the predicted final tales. We'll come back to this at the end of the season. Everybody bar Steph Sale has the London Broncos getting the wooden spoon. Steph instead sees them at 11. He puts Castleford there. The rest of us see Castleford in 11. 10th place, all of us say Salford, bar Steph Sale. He's upset Ian Judson. He has put Hull FC in the 10th spot. In 9th spot, myself, Schofield, and Steph Sale, we're saying Hull, Huddersfield Giants. Greg and Joel, they're putting FC. Now we go to 9th. Is it 9th? Is it 9th? 10, 11, 10. 8th. Now we go to 8th. Gary Schofield and myself see Hull FC in 8th. Greg and Joel see the Giants there. And Steph puts Salford the highest of any of us. He puts Salford at 8th. That's going to be interesting. Now we go to 7th spot. Myself, Gary Schofield, seeing Warrington missing out. Oh, sorry, Greg.
That's me, mate. That's me.
For you missing out. I put, of course, KR. That's been contentious tonight. And look at that. Catalan Dragons in 7th. Steph and Joel. That's an interesting one.
Interesting one.
You saw it. Then we get into the top 6. Right. 6th space. Gary Schofield says Leeds, as does Steph. Leigh Leopards for Joel and for Greg. I'm putting the wire there. Then we come to 5th. And it's the only one where we all disagree. In 5th, Gary Schofield's got KR. I've got Leigh Leopards. Greg's got Catalan Dragons. Joel has got the Leeds Rhinos. And Steph is putting the Leopards. It's the only one where we all disagree. Then we go into 4th. Gary Schofield puts the Dragons. Myself and Greg are going for the Leeds Rhinos. And Joel and Steph see the Warrington there. I hope you're right, boys. I hope you're right.
I hope you're right.
Then we go into 3rd. Gary Schofield putting Leigh Leopards 3rd. Catalan for me. KR for Joel and for Greg. And it's St. Helens for Steph. All of us think it's St. Helens in 2nd. Bar Steph, he's put KR there. Big shout, that one, mate. Massive shout. But hey, at the end of the day, you don't become Steph Sale by sitting on a fence. And finally, the bottom line is there. Great stock, Mr. Sale. And yeah, at the front there, you can see the Wigan Warriors. Wigan Warriors, every single one of us is saying the same thing. The Wigan Warriors should, with that bags of riches, win the Super League. That's what we're saying. Well, certainly the League Leaders Shield. Obviously, Knockout Rugby League. Who knows what's going to happen there? Right, there you go. What a fantastic hour and a bit of conversation.
Loved it, mate.
It's been fantastic. Now, though, here it comes. It's back, the Prediction League. And actually, hundreds of fans, forum members have gone and voted for their predictions this weekend in terms of who they believe is going to win and by what score. Well done, everybody. Thanks for getting involved. And I'm delighted to say that going forward, the predictions are going to be sponsored by Rugby League 3/4, a brand new Facebook group is going to be sponsoring us for 2024. If you like a punt, that's the place to go. It's going to be an online community for bettors. That's what it is, where basically the community is going to talk, where's the value in the market, where's the best accumulators and things like that. So if you like a bet, something that we don't do here on Super League Raw. It's a great partnership. We're really happy with it. We think it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you like to, consider what your bets are going to be at the weekend, get yourself over there to Rugby League 3/4, our brand new sponsor. They're going to be sponsoring not only this part of the show, but they've also agreed to sponsor our Game of the Week, which is back, ladies and gentlemen, this coming Thursday. So the game of the week had to be the Hull Derby, very closely followed, of course, by the Catalan Dragons against the Warrington Wolves. But we have gone with the Hull Derby. We've gone traditional. Why wouldn't you go traditional? It's going to be a fantastic game, this one, between, of course, the arch rivals themselves. And this is basically, let's get through it. Let's take a look at it. This is the head-to-head. Last season, of course, Hull KR 4th. The Black and White's 10th. That stung a little bit. As you can see there, of course, both winning on opposite grounds. The star there next to round 18 is, it basically means that the fixture was the other way around. That game was played at the Robin. So whenever you see a star, it basically means that the fixture was played the opposite way. Of course, the MKM, it was a 40-0 win for Hull KR last year. Who can forget Coo, Hall, Lewis? Oh, they had an absolute field. But then back came Hull FC in the second game at the Silver at Craven Park with a 16-6 win. The title odds, 12-1, Hull KR, 25-1, Hull FC. In terms of the game odds, the bookies have it 4-7 on for KR. 6-4 for Hull FC. And then just for a bit of fun, Greg, I thought I'd do this. The opening round, how do these teams fare in the opening round? Well, as you can see there, Hull FC have won in the last 3 seasons. They beat Huddersfield in 21, Wakefield in 22, and Cass last year. As for Hull KR, not as good. Lost out to Catalan in 21, Wigan in 22, but of course beat Wigan on the TV last year. That surprised many going into the start of the new season. Right, here we go. Now, obviously, we've kept our eye on current injury news. These are the teams that I expect to line up. Let me walk you through them, and then we'll have a chat about the game, Greg. I think Jack Walker will play. I think he'll play at fullback. We know that Jake Truman isn't going to be playing. I think Tex Hoyle will start in the halves with Brown. The back line, Litton on the wing alongside McIntosh. In the middle, Cam Scott, believe he's going to pass fit. He'll play alongside Liam Sutcliffe. Up front, of course, the new guard. SASA, Franklin Pele, Danny Houghton, of course, in the middle. We're going to see Jade Knockenball, Leigh Sow, and it's either going to be Cater or Lane at loose forward. No Brad Fash for this one. We know Jack Ashworth is going to be in there as well. We would expect Morgan Smith, I think, has been passed fit for this one as well. And then it's going to be a other in the prop forward position. That's the way I see the Hull FC. Then we go to KR, Hicker at fullback. I think the wings will be Hall and it'll be Burgess. Upperchick and Gildart in the centres, May and Lewis in the halves. Jai Whitbread, based on the graphic that we showed earlier on, I do expect Whitbread to start because he's got the engine to start. Jez Litton, George King, who was magnificent. I think they'll start with Dean Hadley alongside Batchelor in the second row. Elliot Minchella, the captain, there as well. And then on the bench, we'd expect to see Tanginoa. I think Tanginoa will be there. I think we'll see Jesse Sue, Matt Parcell, and whoever that's going to be is what I would say there. That's how I see it. One thing's for certain. 2 really good, strong lineups.
Yeah. And when you listen to that, when you hear the whole lineup, that's a strong lineup. That really is a powerful lineup when you read those names out.
It's about how those new players settle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And am I right in saying it's a big crowd there tomorrow expected?
Over 17,500. I think they're going to try. I think they're on to get closer to 20, I believe.
Yeah, and we said this last season, the season before. A crowd of 20,000 in a rugby league ground is a sellout and looks good on TV.
Yeah.
But that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
I think it's the first game of the season. Obviously, it's the kickoff. This is I think this game is one that's probably the most unpredictable to predict.
Yeah.
Because of Hull being at home, because of the crowd, because it being the first game, new players bedding in.
Yeah.
And I've tipped Hull KR to finish above Hull. But forgive me, Hull KR fans, but I just think that the emotion of the night and the fact that there's a big crowd in there, and I think Hull are going to win this 9-17.
9-17 for FC.
For FC, and I know that goes against my predictions and where they'll finish in the league, but I just think as a first night, and Hull are the underdogs, they're at home. I just get a feeling that will carry Hull home. Yeah. I think Hull KR will finish higher in the league at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and Hull may well struggle, but I think on Thursday night, given the crowd, given the emotion. Yeah, amazing ticket sales, Steph. Yeah, exactly. I just think that will carry Hull home, and I'm going Hull 9-17 FC.
Right. Well, I'm going to go KR. I think KR 9-17. But like I say, I think we all said it in the end of season show last year. It was the best Super League season we've had for many a year. And actually, as we go through these graphics of potential starting lineups for these games, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we could be in for box office, absolute box office. Now, some of you will be wondering where some of the players are. Let's get into. We'll give you a shout out in a minute in terms of where you think these guys will finish. But just to give you just a little bit, Liam Tyndall has a broken thumb. That's why he's not in contention. Jake Truman, we know, is out. Wuliki Chapani, I always get that wrong. He's expected back in May as he recovers from his ACL. Brad Fash, obviously ruled out the head knock. Morgan Smith is expected to play. Carlos Tamarari won't make it. Cameron Scott should be fit, hence why we put him in the team. No Sam Luckley and Matty Staunton for Hull KR. Reece Butterworth, he's out due to concussion protocols, but Kalepi Tanganoa, by all accounts, is back. Right, let's just give a couple of quick shout-outs. So here we go. Oh, Andy and Sue with us. Good evening, Andy. I tell you what, Andy and Sue will put you up. Hello, Andy and Sue. They say KR will not meet the top 6. You've only just joined us. I've got them at 7th, Andy and Sue. I'm absolutely with you. Right, let's. Here we go. Let's get some shout outs then. Callum, FC 1-8. Sam Holt, 24-12 in the favour of KR. Kev Wobble sees it KR 1-8. Rob Lloyd, 18-12 to FC. So a lot of people here on the fence. KR 18 plus for Steph Sale. Right, let's go through the rest of the predictions. So to repeat, I'm going KR 9-17. Greg is going FC 9-17. Joel, he's going KR 9-17. Steph is going KR 18 plus, and Gary Schofield is going Hull FC 1-8. So, as expected, when you look at those two lineups side by side, it could go either way. This should be a box office start to a brand new season. I personally can't wait for it. Right, let's move to this one. And this has got, of course, a subplot to it with the Brody Croft and the Ackers piece. Leeds Rhinos taking on the Salford Red Devils Friday night at Headingley Stadium. Last year, of course, 8th and 7th, very, very close in the league. Look at the results. So in round 11, Salford went to the Leeds Rhinos and won 22 points to 12 at the AJ Bell, though. Leeds got their revenge in a 16-14 game. Really, really tight match, that one. Current title odds, 15-2. Leeds Rhinos, probably unsurprisingly, 66-1, the Salford Red Devils. Current game odds, 3-10 on the Leeds Rhinos, 13-5 Salford. And again, just taking a quick look. Sorry for the background noise. Greg's obviously re-renovating his room as we're doing this. As we go to Leeds Salford, Leeds won in 2021, Wakefield. Then, of course, they've lost in the last 2 seasons. Had Wire on the opening games of the season and lost both times. As for the Salford Red Devils, as you can see there, lost to St Helens in 21, but beat Cass and then Leigh in the last 2 seasons. So actually, decent form there in opening fixtures for the Salford Red Devils. Right, we go to how we expect these 2 squads to line up. Of course, Lachlan Miller at fullback, David Foster Tua. Then, look at the 3 quarters here for the Leeds Rhinos. Foster Tua, Newman, Momorowski, sorry, and Ash Handley. We'll get used to it as we go through the season. Brody Croft, of course, and Frawley in the halfback roles. Mikolaj Oledzki, alongside Tom Allwood, who we expect to play. Andy Ackers as well, of course, making his debut at Headingley. Other good news, James Bentley is expected to be fit for this one. Reece Martin back into his traditional second row spot, played a lot of centre last year. And, of course, Cam Smith, who was exceptional last year. I'm expecting Salibo to be playing in this one. Jared O'Connor, Mikel Gudemon, and James McDonnell. That's who we expect for this. Sorry, is it McDonald? Sorry. Right, then we go to Salford, and a lot of people are writing Salford off, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a bad starting lineup by any stretch. Ryan Briley at fullback. I think they'll put Nene McDonald on the wing because, of course, Ethan Ryan isn't fit. And I think they'll put Callum Watkins at centre alongside Tim Lafar with Dion Cross on the wing. You've got a plethora of backliners. Cade Cust, of course, and Sneed, the new partnership, how that's going to go. Singleton is there, but of course, he's going to be taking over from Ackers in the hooking role. I would expect Armand Roy to be in there. We've put in there as well Sam Stone, Joe Shorrocks on debut, and Oliver Partington on the bench. Dixon, Wright, Mellor, and dearie me. Do you know what I'm looking at him? I can't bloody remember his name.
Who are we looking at?
The one on the left. It's doing me head in. What's his name? Oh, God.
Partington?
No, it's not Partington. It's, come on, help me out, folks. It is, Dixon's on the right. I always forget his name. Oh, they might put Hankinson in, actually. They might put Hankinson in. It's Chris Atkin. It's Chris Atkin. Chris Atkin. They might just put Hankinson in there. I don't know. But like I say, it's a starting 17. That's not a bad starting 17. Everybody's writing Salford off for this first game. I think they missed out a little bit in the front row, but do you know what? That's not a bad side that Mr. Rowley's got there.
It's all right, actually, isn't it? Yeah. And I hear what you're saying, Dave. And, Salford shouldn't be written off. And I'm going for a Leeds win by 18 plus.
Well, that was short and sweet. Thanks for that, Greg. Great.
I've got a confession to make. The noise was the fact that I've knocked my beer over and it's not been up.
Oh dear. Ah, well, that
It
is
was the excitement. So
it's
I do
sacrilege.
apologise to
Absolute
all
sacrilege. I'm going to go Leeds. I'm going to go 9-17 Leeds. I think, their spine with Miller, Croft, Frawley, Ackers. I mean, wow. And of course, Cam Smith.
I think Leeds are. I think it may well be tight for the first 20 so minutes. I think Leeds. I'm sorry, Salford fans, but I think Leeds are going to run away with this one.
Well, I'm going 9-17.
I'm going 18 plus. I think this could be.
It's keep. No, Steph Stones the second row there, matey.
Yeah.
Hey, at the end of the day, I forgot my man Atkins, so you crack on, son. Right. So I'm going Leeds 9-17. Greg's going Leeds 18 plus. Joel is going Leeds 18 plus. Steph Sale 9-17 Leeds. And here's one for you, Gary Schofield. Of course he's going Leeds. Of course he is. But he's going Leeds by 32 points. That's a big shout from Schofield, isn't it?
Well, do you know what? No, I don't think it is.
I
think, and again, I like Salford. I go soft for Salford. Sausage rolls are magnificent, but I think Leeds, if they let loose and let rip, I think Leeds could win this by 40 or 50 points. I really do.
Well, we will wait and see. Dawn Baker, she sees Salford 1-8. She's going against the trend. Sam Holt, he's going Leeds by 6. Rhinos 9-17. Freddie McGilvey, good evening, Freddie. How are you, sir? I'm sure Freddie McGilvey will be a Team Talk member. I'd expect nothing less. Ryan Birch is with us as well. 18 plus. Ryan is going the way of Leeds. Kev Wallacine at Leeds 9-17. Salford 11th in the league and lose against the Rhinos by 22, says Andy and Sue. And Craig Rigby saying Leeds 22 points to 10 in the favour of Leeds. Wow. Right, we now go to this one. St Helens taking on the London Broncos. God bless the London Broncos. What a start to Super League they've got. Current title odds for Saints 3-1, 150-1 to the London Broncos. The game odds 1-40. Wow. In the favour of Saints. 12-1. The London Broncos. As you can see, Saints, a perfect 3 from 3 in the last 3 seasons. Salford, Catalan and Cass, albeit it was round 2 last year when they played Cass, but that was their opening Super League fixture. Win, win, win. As for the Broncos, of course, they've been playing Championship Rugby League. We know that. But the Broncos, they've won, lost and lost. They've beaten Keighley. Sorry, they won against Keighley, lost against Widnes, lost against Batley. That's where they are. So yeah, Steph, job for you. Who did you play at the start of 2021 and what was the results? There's something to keep Steph happy for the next few minutes whilst we talk about Saints. Who did you play 2021, opening game of the season in the Championship? It actually would have been Championship, it would have been Super League. And how did you get on? Because for some reason, I've not wrote that down. Right. Yeah, really, really bad. Let's get into the squads then. First and foremost, for St Helens, it's pretty good news. I think for Saints, when I just get to here we go. Only Ignatius Parsi, we believe, is not eligible for this game. So they're in great shape. Let's go through it. Who's who? This is how I think they'll line up. Could be wrong, but it's all a bit of fun. Hell of a team. Wellesby at fullback, on the wings, Benison and Makinson. Makinson linked with Catalan for next year. That's going to be one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Wonga Blake and Mark Percival, in the centres. Of course, Johnny Lomax, 33, new captain. So say all of us, good decision. Lewis Dodd, of course. Then back comes Wormsley, alongside probably Matty Leigh, you'd expect. There's Daz Clark. I'm expecting the back row, because a few players have actually been announced out tonight by them. Joe Batchelor isn't going to be playing. He's not going to be fit, and neither is going to be Morgan Knowles. Hence the reason why I've got Curtis Sirinen and Whitley starting in second row, and I think James Bell will start at loose forward. On the bench, Wingfield, Conrad Hurrell, Sione Matautia and George Delaney. That's how I see the Saints team. Hell of a team that, when you consider the players that are missing. Wow. As for the London Broncos, Akeem Alaudi, I think he'll be at full back. Gideon Buffo, he'll be on the wings. And Lee Kershaw, of course, signed from Wakey. He's passed his trial. I think he'll be on the other wing. Jared Bassett, Robbie Story, more than likely in the centres. Then a brand new partnership in the half-backs. James Meadows, trust me, talented lad, this lad, one to keep an eye on. And Jack Campagnolo, he's back. He's in there, the number 7. In the front row, it'll be Rob Butler alongside him, Reece Kennedy in the hooking role. Of course, shocking Ben Leyland's not playing when we're going to miss him this season. Sam Davis, we'd expect to be there. Will Lavelle and Emmanuel Wayne, who Castleford fans said played brilliantly well in that pre-season game. Want to keep an eye on there. And of course, the Championship Player of the Year, Dean Parata at full-back. On the bench for them, Adi Bailly, Jack Hughes, Marcus Stock, and I think Jordan Williams. That's who I think it'll be. That said, I'm sorry, it's Saints 18 plus. It can't be anything less. This is a baptism of fire for. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's not a Gary Schofield score. He's given London a 64-point start against Saints. Greg, where do you see it, mate?
Do you know, sometimes when these fixtures come out, somebody's got to have a bit of common sense and say, can we not have this as the first game for London Broncos? We've got to have a bit of common sense. We've got to give them a home game and not against teams that are expected to finish in the top six.
Yeah.
You know, let's make it a little bit fairer, I think. But then they get it out of the way. What damage will it do psychologically, physically? I don't know. I'm going Saints 18 plus.
Yeah,
I think Saints will probably be unhappy if they only put 50 past them.
Well,
and, you know, and you know, you've got to think about these things, haven't you?
Well, the thing is, I'll tell you what you have got to think about, and I'm sorry, London Broncos fans, when I say this, but you know, the likes of Saints, anybody who's got ambitions for League Leaders Shield, it was close last year. Points difference could be the difference again this year. And, you know, they're going to be going full throttle. Don't you worry about that. Kobe McGilvey, good evening to you. Shout out for our mate Kobe. Kobe, lad, is Kobe going to be a Team Talk member at Super League Raw? Get yourself over to the Patreon website. Become a member. Loads of great stuff coming your way, courtesy of Super League Raw this season. I do like this name. Rightio Rambo. Good evening, Rightio. 60 points to 8. He's going. Great name, that one. Other people in the chat.
Rightio.
You know, Rightio, yeah, indeed. A lot of Sam Holt, 54-0. He's nil in London. You don't give him a prayer to even get a point.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't score a point.
Neither would I. So, 18 plus everybody on that. Surprise, surprise. With Schofield going by a 64. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we now come to another, for me, intriguing and mouth-watering game. And that game is going to be this one. Oh, we're not doing that just yet. My apologies. What is going on? A little bit of ring rust here. We're going there first. Leigh Leopards taking on the Huddersfield Giants. This should be a great game. 5th place, 7th from last season. If you look at it, round 11, the Leopards went to the Giants, 30 points to 4. Is what I've got for that one. And then 34-16 in the favour of the Leopards. That can't be right. Did the Leopards lose 30 points to 4 at Huddersfield last year? Steph will tell me.
I'm sure Steph will tell you. Wasn't it just before or just after the Challenge Cup?
I could be, yeah, could have been. Like I say,
round 11. No,
I don't know.
Round 11
that's one for Steph. That's one for Steph. But Davey, me, that one passed me by. Current title odds 16-1. No, we won by that. Yeah, I thought as much. That's the wrong way around. 30 points to 4. Leigh won that one. Well done, Steph. Putting these together, guys, it is an absolute bind, believe me. So, give me everything else has been right. Just got that one wrong. Current title odds 16-1 to the Leopards, 18-1 to Huddersfield. That's interesting. I wouldn't have put them that close personally, but there you go. Game odds 4-9 the way of the Leigh Leopards for this, 19-10 if you're a Huddersfield fan. Steph has saved me. They lost to Wigan in the Super League in 21. Then, of course, they went down.
Of course, he did by 2 points when they were 18-0 up.
That's right. Whitehaven, of course, in the Championship, lost to Salford last year, if you remember those wonderful, easy on the eye tries in that very disappointing kit by Salford last year. As for Giants, of course, they can see they lost to FC in 21. They won by, I think it's the Tigers. Toulouse it was. They beat the Toulouse Olympic opening game of the season in 2022, sorry. And then last year, of course, they lost to the Wire. Of course, that was round 2 again because of the World Club Challenge. Right, I tell you what, let's take a look at these two teams. And like I say, this should be an absolute little belt. You've already said you're going, Greg. I think you're going to be richly entertained. This is how I see them lining up. Gareth O'Brien at fullback, of course, rumoured to be after Dave Armstrong of the Newcastle Knights. Adrian, today and said that they're interested in David Armstrong. We'll keep an eye on that one. On the wings, Briscoe and Charlie. In the middle, of course, will be Hardacre and the returning Ricky Latelli. Matt Moylan and Lachlan Lamb will be out and about, causing mayhem. Then, of course, the pack to be third. Tom Amone, Erin Pape, Robbie Mulhern, Kai O'Donnell. And you might be surprised there to see that I've slotted in Frankie Holton. I think Frankie Holton might start this game in the second row. I just don't know why. I just do. And Asiata in there as well. And then, of course, on the bench, the likes of Dan Norman, Ben, the name that I'm not even going to try. If Seth was here, he'd say it for me. Ben McNamara and Owen Trout. Great signing, Owen Trout. Could be right, could be wrong. Like I say, don't know all the injuries. It's very early days. Some of these players might be pulled out by the time they get on the field of play. As for Huddersfield, decent starting lineup. Connor at full back, Swift, outstanding for FC last year. I think they'll go with Wallace. Don't know why. I think I know Bibby's got the number 5, but I think they'll go Wallace. Masters and Nagama in there as well. Obviously, no Theo Farge in this one, so I'd expect Russell will start alongside Clune. Ikehefo, no Chris Hill. We're hearing Chris Hill probably won't make it. That's what we're hearing for him. I think it's O'Brien there. Trying to remember. Oh God. I tell you, I've got to remember these faces. It's who's that? Joel, who's that? Trying to remember who that is. Put him in today. Is it Greenwood? I think it's Greenwood.
Which one are we looking at, Dave?
Next to the hooker. Sure, it's Greenwood.
Yeah, it is. Greenwood.
Yeah, Murchie, Cudjoe, and I think Hewitt will be replacing Luke Yates. Luke Yates isn't in this one as well. I'm hearing that Ash Goulding is going to be the rotating hooker for Huddersfield this year.
Wow.
He's what I'm hearing.
He's got the pace. He's certainly got the pace.
English, we'd expect to be in there as well. The young lad there. Oh, dearie me. Who's the young lad? Tell you. I put this together earlier on and now I've forgotten faces. I do apologise. But anyway, whilst I'm getting those last 2 names in, Greg, this should be an absolute belter of a game.
Yeah, I think this will be quite a... I think the first half will be quite close, but I think Leigh will run away with it second half. I think Leigh's pack, no Chris Hill, which is a big blow.
Yeah.
And sorry, Joel, but I think this isn't because Steph's going to buy me lots of pints on Friday night. Yeah. But I think Leigh are going to probably win this 18 plus.
Yeah. Leigh are going to win it 18 plus, you're saying?
Yeah, Leigh 18. But I think it's going to be close at half time.
Yeah.
I just think Leigh are going to run away with it second half. I think the power of the pack will tell in the set as it did for most games last season.
Yeah.
So they've just got the pack is just incredible.
Yeah, and as you're saying that, there's some, Matty English. You've got Salabio, of course. Hugo Salabio is the one on the right, and of course Ollie Wilson.
Yeah.
It's Ollie Wilson.
Yeah, I just.
So don't get me wrong. It looks a really competitive team that Huddersfield are going to put out on the field of play. You're going 18 plus. I think it's Leigh, but I think 9-17. I don't see it being 18 plus. Joel thinks it's going to be 1-8 to Leigh. Steph's going 18 plus on this one, and Gary Schofield's going Leigh as well. As you'd expect, Greg Roach is saying he's hoping that they're going to put 50p's in the meters. There you go. We expect it. But they're all involved in that. Leigh 28 points to 22 is what Sam Holt is going. Rob Lloyd 24-16 to Leigh. Oh, unfortunately, Greenwood out until third to fourth week, so there's no Greenwood as well. So Greenwood won't start. So I'd expect Matty English will probably start in his stead, and they will probably put in maybe Fenton Rogers, somebody like that, in on the bench for Huddersfield. Like I say, I think everybody's going the way of Leeds. But one thing's for certain, I think of this game. Is well, if you're not watching this one live, if you're going to watch the Leeds Salford one, make sure you've got your record button set on Sky. Make sure you watch this one straight after. Yeah. That's exactly. I'm actually going to watch this one. You'd expect that, Joel, and with the Joel and Steph. But if my wife allows me, it's a birthday, hence I'd be there probably. But yeah, I'll be watching this one and catching up on the Leeds Salford one a little bit later on. But what a game that one is going to be. Right, okay. Yeah. We now move on, and we move on to the Saturday games, and we're going to start with the one at the Jungle. Castleford Tigers taking on the reigning champions, the Wigan Warriors. Obviously, no Sam Walters for the Warriors, no Junior Nsemba, no Ethan Havard. They have all been ruled out for this game. As for the Castleford Tigers, like I've already said, Rowan Mills out for the first round match. Alex Mellor as well. He's expected to be out for at least 4 weeks. And Sylvester Nemo, the new signing, he's not going to be featuring either for Castleford. Right, 11th place first. Round 26 last year at the Wigan Warriors, 48 points to 6, a battering on that occasion. Of course, Wigan went to the Jungle and nilled them last year in round 3, 36 points to 0. Wigan are favourites, 2-1 favourites for the championship, 66-1 the Castleford Tigers. Game odds 1-5 on Wigan, 18-5 the Castleford Tigers. Castleford won, of course, in 21. They took a scalp off Warrington, if you remember, Greg. And then, of course, last 2 seasons they've lost against Salford and Hull FC. Very nearly come back, of course, against FC. And then Wigan Warriors, a perfect. Well, not quite perfect. 2 wins. Leigh, Hull KR in 2022, and of course lost out to KR in 2023. A brilliant performance that at the start of last season by Hull KR. Right, the starting lineups for these two. We would expect Hooley at fullback, Sims and Senior on the wings. Broadbent, brilliant, absolutely brilliant last year alongside Sam Wood, the new recruit in there. Good to see Danny Richardson back. Really good to see Danny Richardson back. I think he could be huge for Castleford this year, alongside Jacob Miller. You know, you've got the likes of Watts there and Lawler with the captain Paul McShane. In the second row, El Hakim, who I believe is a bit of a steal as well in the Fantasy League, folks. There's one for you as well. And, of course, Nixon Putt in the second row. Joe Westerman at fullback there as well. On the bench for them, Vete, would expect him to be in and around it. The young lad, I'm going to have to go into the names. I'm going to have to go in the names again on this one. Greg, not a bad Castleford side. Not a bad Castleford side. Again, like Salford, people will be looking at Castleford and going, you know, will they, won't they be thereabouts come the end of the season? Liam Horn is one of them. I'm trying to remember who the other guys are. George Griffin, that's it. Got to remember.
Yeah, Griffin's there, isn't he?
Griffin, and the other one is, what's his name? Oh, dear.
We're looking at
the first one on the left, young lad, Kibula.
Yeah, Kibula.
Right. Before we go into these, let me just go into Wigan, box that off, and then we'll have a chat about it. Wigan, who's who? Field at fullback, Miskey and Marshall on the wings, Kieran and Wardle in the middle, Bevan French and Harry Smith in the front row, Liam Byrne, Luke Thompson, Brad O'Neill, I think, will start. Willie Isa, Liam Fowle, Cade Ellis will be at full back. And then, of course, you've got Patrick Mago, Tyler Dupree. I do think Cooper will play this one. And Cruz Leeming. Massive squad there for the Wigan Warriors. But like I say, Castleford, not that bad a side. It's not that bad a side. It's going to be interesting to see how the likes of Putt, El Zakim get on. But
yeah, Nixon Putt was one of the standout players in the World Cup a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping that Castleford sell this game out.
Yeah.
Wigan will travel.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about the fact that hopefully Wigan will travel and they'll pack that away end.
Yeah.
And I just hope that Castleford fans just get there and watch the game and pack the 3 stands out.
Well, it's a fearsome ground, isn't it? It's a fearsome ground.
Intimidating ground.
Yeah.
I've been there watching Warrington, and, you know, you can feel the hatred coming at you.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Absolutely.
But I hope it's a sellout. I hope that Castleford get behind the team. I don't think Wigan will find it as easy as they would hope, but I still see Wigan winning 18 plus.
Yeah. No real surprises. I think all of us, everybody is seeing this as a Wigan plus, 18 pluser. I think there's no doubt about that. I mean, you know, Rightio Rambo saying 40 plus for Wigan. Greg Roach is saying 50 plus for Wigan. You know, it's, I mean, but, you know, whilst we're on this, let's just take the graphic off for a minute. You know, what on earth, the decision to make this a 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday at the same time as Catalan Warrington? Why couldn't it have been a 7? Why couldn't it have been a 3? Why have they allowed 2 well, it didn't need to be Friday nights, I get that. You know, if we're going to have Friday night games, if clubs want to keep the Friday night games, that's unavoidable for the time being. Hopefully that changes and we get an NRL where, you know, they play one after the other. But the decision to make this a 5:30 game on the BBC to counteract the Catalan Warriors, I just don't get
that. I don't get it. I really don't. Could they have not have played it on Sunday, perhaps?
Exactly.
And do you know what? What I really, really hope, because there are going to be a lot of games being played at the same time, what I really, really hope is that the commentators don't decide it's their right to give us the scores from all the other games.
It's going to happen.
It is. But please, let's have a bit of a word you don't associate with rugby league a lot. Let's have a bit of common sense.
People are going to want to watch it as live, aren't they?
Yeah, understand that other games are going on at the same time and that we want to watch those games without knowing the score. Yeah, and we're talking Bill Arthur.
We are.
He's going to be reeling off the scores every 5 minutes because that's what Bill Arthur is.
Yeah.
But let's have a bit of common sense and if you're going to play games at the same time, please let us enjoy the games that we are recording. Whoever it is we're watching live, whoever it is we're recording, please. It's a great coup for rugby league to have the sport on BBC to terrestrial TV. Let's have a bit of respect for other fans watching other games.
Spot on.
And don't give the scores away.
Spot on, mate. Spot on.
Because when you watch the game live, unless you're on your phone or it's a crucial part of the season, you really don't look at other results.
No, absolutely not. For Kev in the chat, the armpit rule doesn't come in Super League till next year. Kev saying how many are going to be banned for going above the armpit. One thing's for certain, there's going to be a lot of bans, grade D, mandatory grade D, 2-game ban for a headshot. So I think we're going to see quite a few people not in round 2. We'll have to see how that one plays out. Right, this is a mouth-watering game. We're almost done, guys. It's been great. I knew it was going to be a long show tonight. But hey, that's just the way it is. We're enjoying a good chat and you've stayed with us. Thank you very much indeed for that. Catalan taking on the Warrington Wolves, second taking on 6 from last season. Warrington last year, great record in Perpignan, won there twice in round 8, 20 points to 14. Who can forget that Josh Fewley's try? And then, of course, in the Challenge Cup, late Ashton try 16-14. They won in the Challenge Cup. But then, by the time we got to round 21, Catalan were in the groove. They tore Warrington apart, absolutely tore us apart, 30 points to 10. Current title odds, Warrington better odds, I think, incredibly generous to put Warrington 8-1. Catalan 10-1. Game odds 8-13 on the Dragons, 7-5 the Wire. How these teams start over the last 3 years? Well, the Catalan Dragons, they've beaten KR, lost to St. Helens, and of course last year beat Wakey. That was a heart in the mouth moment though, Wakey last year.
Yeah, it was.
And then Warrington lost to Cass, but then of course have beat Leeds twice over the last couple of seasons. Right, let's quickly take a look at the teams and then we'll have a chat about these. Brilliant squads. Unfortunately, they haven't been photographed in the new shirts yet, Catalan. That hopefully will come at some point. But Artur Morg, he'll be full back. On the wings, Davis, I'd expect, and Johnson. In the middle, Artur Romano, Mati Cavallo, I would expect to play. Jaden Nikarima, Jordan Adel in the halves. Neverett and Busquet with, I think, Mickey Mack in the middle. I think they're going to play McMeekin in the second row. I think that's where he'll start for this one, as opposed to on the bench. I think, Siguer, we know, and of course, Ben Garcia. Tarek Sims, Theo Farge, Satai, and Desiree on the bench. Bruising. Warrington, he'll be Duffy at full back. On the wings, Matty Ashton and Josh Fewley. Connor Wrench and Toby King in the centres. The halfback partnership of Williams and Drinkwater. I will expect them to start with Musgrove and Vaughan in the front row. I think he's going to start with Powell. This is one of those games where he'll want to, it's going to be a war of attrition early doors. I think he'll start with Powell and bring Walker in off the bench. Lachlan Fitzgibbon, Ben Curry, and I think Crowther will start at loose because, of course,
Nicholson's injured.
Isn't playing. On the bench, Walker, Harrison, Philbin, and Gil Dudson. That's how, could be wrong, but that's how I see the predicted lineups. Right, Greg. This should be a belter of a game, first and foremost. It should be an absolute belter of a game.
Yeah.
Warrington, great record there last year. The narrative of Burgess and all the rest, we know it's going to be mad in terms of the build up to this game. New spine for the Dragons in this one. It is a new spine, completely new. how much they're prepared for Super League competition. The Elite 13, not as good a preparation as the clubs in England have had, I would say. So this is going to be the first real proper knock for Catalan against Warrington. Yeah. But they will fancy this, I think. I think they will. I think the narrative, it's all about Burgess, lads. I mean, the team talk's done. This is all about Burgess, lads. It's all about Burgess. We haven't got a prayer today. The fairy tale is Burgess is off to a winning start. Almost does McNamara's talk for him.
Yeah.
Catalan will be up for this.
Of course he will.
How do you see it?
A big crowd. They'll have a big crowd. And imagine what the crowd's going to be like when they have that 14 million euros investment to rebuild the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be up for this. They're going to be firing. And I can see a 9-17 win for Warrington.
Well, there you go. I'm actually going Catalan. I'm going Catalan.
This was the game.
Yeah.
The whole KR Hull game and this were the two where I struggled the most with predicting.
Yeah.
I just get it's again a feeling with the whole KR Hull game. It's just a feeling that I get that Catalan expect to win, and sometimes when you expect to win, it doesn't quite go to plan.
Good counsel. So you're going.
I know this is, and I generally don't kind of wear my heart on my sleeve and put Warrington to win every game. I'm quite sensible about this. I just get the feeling that Warrington have got a bit too much pace in the backs.
Fair enough. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out on Saturday.
I think 9-17 Warrington. What are you going for? 9-17.
I'm going Catalan 9-17. Okay. Joel has gone Catalan 1-8. Steph's gone Warrington 1-8, and Schofield's gone Catalan 9-17 in the chat. Yeah. Sam Holt going 32-26. Grapple to Warrington. We'd set that. That'd be a hell of a game, Sam. I hope you're right. Yeah. One hell of a game to watch. A 32-26 there. Go on. Kev Wobble wide by 12. Craig Rigby wide by 6. Rightio Rambo Catalan 9-17. Kobe Miguel going wide 20. Again, one of those games like the Hull derby. Pretty split. This could go either way, guys. What an incredible show. We've had a great pre-season. We put 3 shows together in preparation for the greatest sport on earth back this coming Thursday. Like I said on the news, now's the time, ladies and gentlemen. Go and buy yourself your beers. Go and give the dog a bone. Go and send the kids to the grandparents and get yourself sat down on your sofa. Now, bottom line is, guys, for those of you who've only I've seen a lot of new faces in the chat today. Pension's open. We need your memberships. If this is going to keep going bigger and better, current programming, new programming, the rest of it, and the benefits are going to be fantastic. It's going to be a community. It's going to be the best online community in rugby league, bar none. We are going to give it you tenfold. We're passionate. It's all about the game. This isn't monotone. It's like Batman said at the start of Batman. Yeah, what are you? We're Super League Raw. And we want you to tell all your friends about us.
Well, the thing is, Dave, we are the most passionate community already.
We are, but unfortunately,
let's build
segment to the media aren't passionate, mate. We are passionate. That's what this is all about. So do yourselves a favour, get over to Pension, become a member of Super League Raw. We really would welcome your support. Ladies and gentlemen, that is another fantastic hour and a bit to go. We will be back next week. We will be back. Things to look forward to this week, though. Game of the week will be uploaded onto our Facebook pages. That's at 6 o'clock on Thursday, so an hour before the Sky. Yes, we're going to do a quick preview show. That is going on at 6 o'clock. The news will be back as well on Thursday. In the Sheds returns on Friday. Oh, there's loads coming at you guys. Absolutely loads coming at you. So look after yourselves, Greg. Absolute pleasure.
Take care. Mate, it's absolutely brilliant. I can't wait for the season to start.
Me neither.
Really can't wait.
Get to the rugby. Get to the rugby. Go and enjoy your rugby league. Go and get to the rugby. It's been a long wait. We will be back 8 o'clock, Super League Raw Weekly, next Tuesday. You can't beat a bit of weekly, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your rugby league. Bye for now.